Windows30.com, bringing you another hacking tutorial, and today we're going to pull up one of the NSA tools that were released, specifically EternalBlue, that was leaked to the public from shadow brokers, which basically allows you to break into anyone's computer that is vulnerable with this particular exploit. If you remember back in some of my earlier exploits, the MS-08067 exploit that we used earlier on, just to demonstrate the power of Metasploit and how interpreter sessions work and things like that. But with that exploit, you could just go ahead and get into a Windows XP computer as long as they have the SMB protocol open and the port was open. And this is the same basic method. There's no user intervention that's needed. There's no tricking the user into clicking on anything, running anything. We just run this exploit and we're on their machine as long as they're on that same network that you're on. But first we have to download the exploit, put it into Metasploit, and we'll run it from there. And I recommend that you go to your root directory and start out in there. The reason being is because some of the dependencies that this exploit needs will be downloaded and referred to into the root directory, and that way we start out without having to actually copy anything over. It'll all be there from the start. So we're going to git clone github.com 11 paths EternalBlue, and make sure you're capitalizing everything that I am. And you know, these are dashes, not underscores or spaces. And I spelled it incorrectly. Sorry about that. DoublePulsar. So even as I'm explaining it to you, I'm still screwing a couple of things up. So that's it. So already downloaded, and here it is in this directory. So let's go ahead to this. We'll change directory. Let me clear this. All right. So we need to copy this over to our Metasploit directory. That way we could use Metasploit to run it and also get that session back. So we're going to copy EternalBlue underscore DoublePulsar into USR user share Metasploit framework modules exploits Windows SMB. If you wonder how I did that type so quickly, I'm not actually typing a million words per minute. I'm just hitting the tab key. It's a fun little thing to do. Just start out typing and just hit your tab key. All right, so now let's go ahead and we're going to change to that directory because we have to edit the file just a little bit. And also I just want to make sure that it copied over correctly. So there's our EternalBlue Ruby script that we're going to be using. And let's edit it real quick. I use Pico, you could use Nano, you could use Vi or VI. And what I'm looking for in here, look at all these targets. So you got Windows XP, Windows Server, Windows Vista, and of course Windows 7, which is what I'm looking for. But the process injection is, I'm just going to change this just a little bit. We're going to go over, take out the WLMS, just change it to explorer.exe, and Control X to exit, Y to save it, Enter to complete the save, and great, everything is still there. Now, go ahead and run MSF console. This will pull up our Metasploit console. Then we're going to use the exploit. We're going to set the parameters, set the payload, and we're going to run this against the Windows 7 machine that is conveniently sitting there on my network waiting to be hacked. All right, Metasploit is up. Let's go ahead and use exploit Windows SMB EternalBlue underscore DoublePulsar. All right, so we could show the options here. A little mishy-mashy, but some options. And I just want to double check, make sure the Process Explorer is in there so we don't have to change it. And remember what I said, the dependencies are going to be in the root directory, so that's why we downloaded it to our root folder instead of having to change that every time. Target machine, this happens to be a 386 machine, not a 64-bit machine. And perfect. So let's do this. Now we're going to set the payload, Windows interpreter. One of my favorites, reverse TCP. Show the options again, because we're going to take a look at the options. And remember from my other tutorials, lhost is your local IP address, which I probably should have gotten before. Or, since I'm using Conky, is it over here? There it is, down here. So, everyone asked me about this thing on... Let me close this. Everyone asked me about this thing on the right. It's just a Conky script. So, download Conky and then write your own script if you want it to look like this. Kind of took me a weekend just to kind of write everything, but obviously well worth it. I use it a lot. But that's way off topic here. Let's go ahead and set the lhost to your Kali. Well, I'm sure you're using Kali. I'm using DonOS to your IP address on the computer that you're using. We're going to set the rhost to the Windows 7 IP that we're hacking. Now, if you don't know how to do Nmap scans or scanning a network, make sure you check that out, because you know, you could fingerprint networks and see which IP addresses match up with certain operating systems, right? So I know the one that is on my network is 10.1.1.064. Of course, like I said, it's going to be different for your network. All right, so show options again. Just want to make sure we have everything. My IP address, Windows 7 IP address. Everything's looking good. All we got to do now is exploit and cross our fingers. Hopefully. And successful. Check it out. So we got our interpreter session hopefully opening. And there it is. Perfect. So now we're on this computer. If you go to help, you can see all the commands that you could do with Meterpreter. I've covered a lot of these in great detail in my other tutorials, so you might want to check those out. But yeah, essentially now we're on this computer. So bam, we own it. We could go through the computer, screw with it, reboot the computer, shut down. So let's see if I could do this and see what we come up with. And like I said, that's my Windows 7 machine. 2 years was logged on, didn't know that. Anyway, so that's as easy as it gets. That's just like how we used to do it with Windows XP. And from what I understand, there is a Windows 10 port for this as well, that either I'm going to do a tutorial for in the future, or it should be the same exact concept as what we just went through. So anyway, keep watching, hit the subscribe button. I need more subscribers. So guys, if you like this channel, tell your friends, get them to subscribe. I'm on Twitter, on Facebook. Do whatever you can to get a hold of me. People were surprised when they send me messages on Twitter or Facebook, and I actually respond. So, you know, I'm just that passionate about this hacking shit. Anyway, yeah, I'm going to be making some more in the future, so I'll talk to you soon.